Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon almost. Just getting a couple other things set up here, and we'll start talking here in just a second. Give me just a second here. Hope everybody's having a great day, great Friday. I'm over here in southeast Missouri and southern Illinois and Kentucky, northeast Arkansas. I'm in the Boot Hill. I'm over here in this area right here today, right? So good morning. So I'm still waiting for a storm prediction on the main page to update here. It's out. There we go. It updated. Okay. So Storm Prediction Center's got a big moderate risk today. No surprise there. And covers southeast of Boot Hill, Missouri, down here in northeast Arkansas, northwest Tennessee, Kentucky, big chunk of Kentucky, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, and then enhance around that and slide all the way back down toward northeast Texas and Dallas. Tornado parameters today are extremely high. We got a big area of 30% over a big area, or 15% hatched, the 2%, 5%, 10% yellow, and then red is 15% hatched. Expect long track violent tornadoes today. We'll talk about that. We got a 45% hatched for wind damage, 75 and maybe gust 100 this evening, and also hail as well. If we look at the models, and we'll go over here and just look at the latest. Most of the cams, a lot of the cams, they get the general ideas that we get into this afternoon. The atmosphere is extremely explosive, and I'm going to show you the current conditions right now. As we get in the afternoon, that's about 4 o'clock. We've got a wave. You've got tornadic storms like near and north of St. Louis. You got south of St. Louis and the Boot Hill. We've got multiple, 4 or 5 tornadic storms coming at us. These are all going to be long track, violent tornadoes, producing a lot of damage, and we move it east at about 50 miles an hour. And those are going to track across southern Illinois with time on into northwest Kentucky, also across northeast Arkansas and central Arkansas. As you get toward this evening, there'll be some additional tornadic storms unzipping back down here to northeast Texas as well. A lot of the models have the similar thing. This is the HRR. There's some other cams that like the A model here this morning. It's done decent with overnight convection last night. We did have a circulation past northeast Arkansas. It came over Jonesboro. We had wind damage just east of Jonesboro. Northeast had a couple trailers flipped on it, some on the road. But this is the horizontal, so it's got 2 corridors. Really, there's 3 corridors of tornadoes a day on this model. It's got one up there, St. Louis, it goes east, and you got this area in the Boot Hill, tracks out of northern Arkansas, extreme southern Missouri, and it tracks over here in the Boot Hill, the Cape Girardeau, Paducah area. These are long track, violent tornadoes. Then you also got a corridor coming out of Little Rock, and also something coming out of Dallas, heading eastward. So that's kind of the general idea of what's going to happen today. As you see, there's just a swarm of tornadoes come east here this afternoon. So I don't try to lock in at exactly where it's going to be, but you get the general idea, right? Let's go to Surface Mesonesis page. This is really the only thing that matters right now. It's basically, it's not a model. It's basically telling you currently what's going on, and that is that we're clearing out rapidly back to our south. It's very warm, very humid. Dew points in the 70s. It's near 80 degrees now all across southern Missouri. We're rapidly recovering from this morning's convection, and it's like 79, 79. You got mid-upper 70 dew points everywhere, 80. You'll notice back over here in the Boot Hill, the winds are more southerly. As you get west here, they're more southwesterly, and then even a little bit southeasterly in southern Illinois. So that's the area we're going to be watching as this comes out. This kind of gives this little product here, tells us kind of, hey, if you're going to have tornadoes today, kind of like, where's the atmosphere already primed for tornadoes? And again, that means you're going to have tornadoes exactly. See, it's extremely high back here. This is where the super extreme tornado area mass is, extreme eastern Oklahoma, back up to Joplin, Springfield. That's where it currently is. And then obviously, as the warm front and this really hot temperature surge north, this is where the boundaries coming north already. That's the tornado parameters are already moving up. That's for F0. We've got EF2. You can see it covers a big area. And I actually saw EF4 in there earlier. EF4, there's going to be very high. It did have some numbers back here, so that's gone back down a little bit, which is fine. Is this basically telling us right now that the highest tornado parameters are back here towards Springfield? We expect the initial tornadic storms about 1 to 2 o'clock explode just northeast and east and southeast of Springfield right in this area, because this whole boundary right here is lifting northward quickly now, and this area is going to become extremely tornadic over the next 2 to 3 hours. It's going on almost 1 o'clock here, so noon, 11:45. So by 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, we're going to have some very intense situations here that we can get tornadoes going later this afternoon. The other thing I'll look at down line here is what we call supercell composite. There's basically where's the parameters really focused. 2 hours from now, it's got a big storm in northern Arkansas, and then in 4 hours, you can see a whole cluster of storms from St. Louis all the way down. These are going to be all individual tornadic storms moving east. That's going to be close to that. I believe that's going to be a 20Z. That's going to be 3 o'clock time frame, and you'll see what as we get 6 hours forward, that cluster of tornadic storms moving into southern Illinois into Indiana and that general area. The other thing I like to look at is called the violent tornado parameter. It's ridiculous how high it is. It's extremely high right now. And this area, this violent tornado parameter will surge to the northeast. And this area now will be back over in this area by 3 to 4 o'clock. And that's where we're going to have extremely destructive tornadoes. We also can look at the tornado parameters in the effective layer. And we're just going to move this forward. Right here is kind of the boundary on the border right now. And with time, you'll see that starts surging to the north, which is going to be. And then you'll see what happens as you start getting in the ahead of these storms, and that you get that's 2 hours in the future, there's 4 hours in the future, and then you've got 6 hours in the future. Look at the parameters are 5, 4, and 5 in southern Illinois, and coming out of the Boot Hill, Missouri, you got 4 to 5 tornado parameters. So these are going to be violent tornadoes as they come out of the Boot Hill and moving to southern Illinois. That's another thing we look for. The other big thing, factor today is going to be extremely large hail. Right now it says there could be upwards of 4-inch diameter here. We're talking softball size hail, baseball to softball size hail. Now you'll see these numbers surge east. It shows 4-inch hail developing in a couple hours in southeast Boot Hill, 3 to 4-inch hail just ahead of these storms. So I would not be surprised if we see baseball, softball is going to be common today, maybe even some grapefruit size hail. And so 3 to 4-inch hail is going to be common with these tornadic storms as they come east. So that's the thing we're watching. And if we go here to let's go back here to grab some satellite data, and let's look at that here. Hope everybody's having a great day today. It's going to be really the next 2 or 3 days are going to be pretty intense over a big area. And let's go here, and there we go. Let's give you just a second here, load some things on College to Page on the road here. So it's current satellite right now, and get some counties on there, and let's get the station present on there, right? So we're down in this area right now, down in the Boot Hill right now. You can see it's clear just to my north, and got some low clouds coming in on the boundary. You see how the clouds are out of the southeast here, and we're going to put this in motion, and you can see how the clouds are rapidly filling up to the north. And what's happening is you'll see the clouds are more of a southeasterly oriented band. The winds are a little bit more backed here, and of course you got more of a south-southwest wind back west here. The wave is approaching. You can see the Q is already forming rapidly now back southwest of Springfield. We're going to have thunderstorms exploding here the next hour or two. Very soon we're going to have storms initiating back in southwest, south central Missouri, as well as north central Arkansas, as the models predicted, right? So we're rapidly destabilizing. Rapidly, tornado parameters are coming up dramatically now, and will be over the next 2 to 4 hours. For anywhere from St. Louis, up here, St. Louis, you need to be on guard. 4 o'clock, all the way from northwest of St. Louis, all the way down the Boot Hill, down into northeast Arkansas, right in this area, right here, across this area, as this main wave comes east, and these are going to ignite these thunderstorms, break back west and move east, and that's the area that we're going to have extremely violent tornadoes. And then not only getting into tomorrow, but tomorrow looks like it could be multiple places, both Texas and Oklahoma. So that's a quick update about today. There's obviously going to be a very there's going to be a tornado watch, probably some PDS tornado watches. The storms are going to be moving east anywhere from 40 to 50 miles an hour today. They're also going to be again putting down some serious tornadoes. And again, it just depends on how this unfolds today, as far as the main areas that are going to have the most intense tornadoes. But the idea is generally we're going to have some tornadic storms moving across this area, and they're going to produce a lot of damage. They're going to be moving fast. It's also, keep in mind, it's Friday afternoon. Traffic's always bad all across the United States, right? On a Friday afternoon at 4 or 5 o'clock, you start getting places like St. Louis, Louisville, Paducah, any of these cities that have, lots of traffic on a normal day. And then you throw in storms that are moving 50 miles an hour, potentially with long track violent tornadoes. You got a recipe for super disaster. I think we're going to have a couple mega disasters this afternoon. Can't tell you what city is going to get hit, but I can tell you that it's going to be a really bad day in the sense of tornadoes and tornado damage. It's going to be probably several areas going to have catastrophic damage today. And you can see what the models are seeing. There's just waves of tornadic storms coming out, and that's to be expected. So you're going to have this initial wave of storms go by, and then as the front unzippers back here, we call the first wave, go by, and then there'll still be tornadoes over here, and then the fronts will start sliding off, and these start developing really after about 6 p.m. This is more like the 2 to 6 p.m. in here, and then this will 5, 6, 7. These start unzipping back here west of Little Rock. You're going to start having damaging tornadoes coming out of Little Rock and moving east down I-40 across eastern Arkansas as you get in the evening hours. Okay, you can see the line heads over to Memphis. And there's some Knox, Texas. So if you're back here, Paducah, Louisville area, Cape Girardeau area, all this area, Perryville, all these areas back in here, Murfreesboro, all these areas back in here, you're be under the gun this afternoon. The Boot Hill, all from St. Louis, all the way over to the Indiana border, Indianapolis, all the way back to St. Louis, you're under the gun, and this whole area is going to have very destructive tornadoes, right? So, again, there will be a PDS tornado watch out this afternoon. They're going to be moving again at about 40 to 50 miles an hour to the east, and they will be producing extremely large hail and very destructive tornadoes. So that's it for today. Right now I'm going to sit up on the river here, and I'm near Cape Girardeau, and I'm waiting for some other people to show up, and we're going to do lunch. And I've got to hook it up with Otis team today. That's the team that launches the drones into the tornadoes. They were successful a couple days ago, and nice little couple weeks ago back up in Nebraska. So I think they've got 3 or 4 drones with them today. We're gonna Eric Fox and his team. Eric's the driver and coordinating their location and which tornadoes we're gonna intercept today. But we're meeting soon here. We're gonna have some lunch, and then shortly thereafter we're gonna be deploying, and we'll see if we can get some drones into some tornadoes. The Otis team's doing that. I'm not doing that. That's their team's doing that. But anyway, we'll be together today, so that ought to be pretty exciting to get the drones inside the tornado. And they've got all kinds of measurements they're going to do with their drones. It's pretty exciting technology, and what they've been able to accomplish so far. It's actually groundbreaking in the scientific community. So anyway, very excited about that. So anyway, be safe. It's going to be an extremely serious day today. You cannot. Today's going to be one of those really, really horrific days. There's going to be so many tornadoes and so much, probably a lot of damage today in very populated areas, unfortunately. And then tomorrow, the next 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, the Plains, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, lots of tornadoes, lots of damage. It's going to be some really big outbreaks all 3 days. And then Tuesday, as the whole thing, bottom of the trough ejects over here, the same area, Missouri, Arkansas, probably a mega outbreak on Tuesday is what it's looking right now. But anyway, it's kind of a short, sweet, to the point, and everybody be safe. But if you're over in this area, St. Louis, on over to literally Indianapolis, all the way down Paducah, Murfreesboro, this whole area, you're going to be under the gun. Little Rock, it's a widespread outbreak today. Okay, everybody take care. Listen to those warnings. Remember, get your helmets. Go as low as 4, get your phones charged. Power's probably going to be out in lots of areas. Your helmets, get your bathrooms, your storm shelters ready. Interior closets, stay away. These storms are going to move from west to east. Stay away from the west sides of the houses in case you get trees blown down in the more wooded areas. Power lines go down. Remember your insurance papers, your cell phones, comments and stuff, right? Charge everything up. And then as the warnings come out, go to shelter. These are going to be long-track, extremely destructive tornadoes today, and you don't want to mess around with today's. Today's a really bad day, and the scope of this, the scope and magnitude of the disaster that's probably going to unfold. So anyway, it looks like about 2 o'clock out in central Missouri, more of a rural area, northeast of Springfield, and north central Arkansas. And as we get 4 to 5, 6 o'clock, then it's going to come across the I-55, I-57 corridors from St. Louis down here to northeast Arkansas is the area it's going to be. Okay, so anyway, that's it. We'll get back with you guys a little bit later, and should be streaming by probably 4 o'clock today. All right, everybody have a great day. Thank you so much.